The rain has come and gone, and Don Leitchfield is the host of a 12th District rivalry matchup between the Grayson County Cougars and the Whitesville Trinity Raiders. On Monday evening, it was Grayson County who came away in Whitesville with a 2-0 victory. The comeback match is here, and it's a wet field, but we should be in for a great matchup. And a good evening here, and welcome to what has turned into be a actually very nice evening here at Don Leitchfield. Sam Gormley with you, so we appreciate you taking the time to tune in here on K105 Digital Productions for a 12th District matchup between the Grayson County Cougars and the Whitesville Trinity Raiders. As coming up here on our pregame show, we're going to give you quick introductions to both teams, give you the starting lineups and more, as this is Cougar Baseball on K105. Welcome back here to Don Leitchfield, where the Grayson County Cougars are taking on the Whitesville Trinity Raiders. Sam Gormley with you today, bringing in our color analyst for tonight's game. Former Cougar catching legend Briley Napier and Briley, Whitesville Trinity. The one thing that always stands out to me whenever Grayson County plays them, I guess this is now my third full year of seeing them cross against the sports, is in some instances they might not be the most talented field on the team, but the most talented team that's going to take the field. The one thing that always stands out to me is that they might be the hardest playing team, that you're never going to beat this team just based on talent. You're going to have to play hard to beat a team like this.
Right, yeah. They're not going to very often, of course, have the most talent on the baseball field. They don't really have enough guys on the team to have that capability, but they're always going to play hard, and they're always going to give you a run for your money.
It's a tough out. You look at Monday night where Grayson County is, for the most part, owned this Whitesville Trinity team. We can just call it like it is.
Yeah.
But it was only 2-0. And, it's one of those things that in that game for Whitesville Trinity, they turned to Landon Huff. He threw 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts.
Yeah.
That's going to get it done a lot of times.
I think that's got to be the best pitching performance from a Whitesville pitcher against Grayson County in quite some time.
Whitesville Trinity, we mentioned it, not a lot of players on their team. In fact, they only have 12 on their varsity roster. And Landon Huff, he leads the team with a .313 average, 2 doubles, 7 runs batted in. As a team, they struggle to hit the ball, similar to Grayson County, hitting .190. The starting pitcher for tonight's game will be Nathan Hernandez. This will be his third start of the season. He's 0-1 with a .525 ERA, 13 Ks, and only 7 walks. This will be his 7th overall game pitched. Mason Miller going to get the ball for Grayson County. We'll introduce you to them coming up right here on K105. Welcome back here to Leitchfield. Grayson County taking on the Raiders of Whitesville Trinity in a 12th District matchup. Getting the ball for Grayson County today will be Mason Miller. And Mason has been very good in his last two full starts. In those two starts against Breckenridge County and against Edmonson County, 16 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 15 strikeouts, and only 3 walks. Briley, you've caught Mason, and it seems like the key in these two games has been him getting ahead of hitters and limiting walks.
Right. Mason's always had the potential to be a really good pitcher. He has good stuff, good velocity, and he comes right over the top, which can be really deceiving for hitters, but he's always had a real big trouble with command. His strikeout numbers always really seem pretty similar to his walk numbers, and you can't be successful that way. And a lot of his success this year came from being able to limit the walks.
This season as a whole, this will be his 7th overall start, 2-3 record with a 2.59 ERA, 28 strikeouts, only 11 walks. So 11 walks in 6 starts. That's not bad.
That's not horrible, especially for him. That's really impressive to see the improvements he's made.
He'll try to continue on his hot stretch against this Whitesville Trinity team. We'll give you the starting lineups for tonight's game after this. This is Cougar Baseball on Welcome back here to Grayson County. Whitesville Trinity and Grayson County are moments away from getting underway in tonight's game. So let's meet the starting lineups for both teams. First, for the Whitesville Trinity Raiders, entering today's game with a record of 3-10, as their head coach is Jeff Wimsett. Leading off and playing center field will be Gavin Howard. Batting second at first base is Mason Mattingly. Batting third and playing shortstop will be Landon Huff. The cleanup hitter will be the pitcher Nathan Hernandez. Batting fifth and catching is Connor Hatfield. Batting sixth in left field is Will Hernandez. Batting seventh at second base is Carter Crisp. The 8-hole hitter will be the right fielder Higdon. And batting ninth and playing the hot corner third base is going to be Nolan Mills. Once more, that starting lineup: Howard in center, Mattingly at first, Huff at short, Hernandez is the pitcher, Hatfield is behind the plate, Will Hernandez will be in left, Crisp will be the second baseman, will be in right field, and Mills will be at third base. Now the starting lineup for the Grayson County Cougars, coming in today's game with a record of 6-12, as their head coach is Danny Clark. Leading off and playing third base will be Dane Hawkins. Batting second, the designated hitter getting his first career varsity start is Jackson Higdon. Batting third, behind the plate, Chandler McCready. The cleanup hitter will be the sophomore right fielder Camden Brothers. Batting fifth and pitching is Mason Miller. The 6-hole hitter will be the center fielder Caden Woodcock. Batting seventh at shortstop is Ethan Snyder. Batting eighth in left field will be Jaron Van Meter. And batting ninth and playing second base is Cody Shepard. Designated player tonight will be the first baseman senior Cody Shepard. Once more, that lineup is Hawkins at third, Higdon at the designated hitter, McCready behind the plate, Brothers at right. Miller will be the starting pitcher, Woodcock in center, Snyder is the shortstop, Van Meter in left, Childress at second, Cody Shepard is a designated player, playing at first base. Grayson County and Whitesville Trinity moments away from getting underway here today. And Briley, we're going to talk a little bit about this as the night goes on. But the one thing that stands out to me, and we can look around the field and see it, is wet out there. You as a defender, you had to, I mean, for the most part, you were on the interior. Obviously, you didn't play did you ever get a varsity appearance in the outfield?
Maybe once or twice, and I certainly made the most of it, but I think I was a little better behind the plate.
But with you, even behind the plate, it doesn't matter whether you're behind the plate or in the outfield. What's the mentality you need to take when you know that there might be puddles left and right? Is there something different about playing behind the plate when you know that?
Not necessarily behind the plate, other than, you know, you're going to get your cleats are going to get all caked up with mud, and the balls are going to scoot a little bit further behind you. But really, behind the plate, it doesn't make a big difference. But those outfielders, really what you have to do is you have to have it in the back of your mind that it might be a little wet, but you can't let that get to you, and you can't allow it to be an excuse.
Your home plate umpire for tonight's game, Sean Williams, and in the field, Tony Beard. Riley, I know you and Sean probably were together maybe more than any other umpire, right?
Absolutely. Me and him, we got a good little friendship going.
Could you even give a scouting report on Sean Williams as an umpire? As far as big strike zone, little strike zone, inside pitch, outside pitch, or does nothing really come to mind?
Nothing really comes to mind other than the fact that when I have an umpire like Sean back there that is real friendly with me, and, you know, we'll chat throughout the entire game, I never got agitated with him, because if there was a pitch that I thought was a strike and he called it a ball, I'd be like, well, you know, it's Sean. It probably was a ball. He doesn't really, in my mind, he didn't get anything wrong because of how much I liked him.
And he is one of the nicest guys.
He is, absolutely.
Guys in the world. I know he's very proud of his son, who was the starting center for the Owensboro football team that lost in the state championship as a freshman.
Wow.
So he started as a freshman at center, which is maybe, other than the quarterback, the most important position on the field for an offense. And Sean was very, very, obviously very proud of his son for that. Looks like we're going to have Anthem. The play-by-play will be next, coming up here on Welcome back here to Don Lee Field, Grayson County, and the Raiders of Whitesville Trinity. Moments away from getting underway in tonight's game. Again, the starting pitcher is going to be Mason Miller for Grayson County, as the Cougars first looked like they were going to take the field, but looks like head coach Danny Clark is going to wait to see if he can't bring them out, as it is wet today, as it is kind of going in and out on rain. I think the rain really stopped, around 7 a.m. this morning, as the Cougars have taken the field here at Don Lee Field in what has turned out to be an extremely nice game, as it's just a perfect night for baseball, as again Mason Miller was making his way out, but now he's walking back into the dugout. Looks like he's going to hand something to his dad down there. I'm not sure what, maybe a bracelet or something that he might have, as he's handing it off to his dad before taking the mound here in tonight's game. Mason on the season, the starting pitcher for Grayson County. Leads the team with that 2.59 ERA and will be his 7th start of the season. He's 2-3, 28 strikeouts, and 11 walks on the year. But those last 2 starts, he's gone 16 complete innings, given up only 1 earned run. And that is going to get it done if he can do that consistently in this game. Again, Grayson County and Whitesville Trinity are getting closer and closer to getting underway as Mason is getting ready to lead off in this game, and he's going to be the leadoff hitter for Whitesville Trinity. Is going to be Branson Howard. That's the wrong Howard that I have there. It's not Branson Howard. It is going to be Gavin Howard. As in my lineup here, I wrote down the wrong players. You got 2 players with the name of Howard out there. So it's going to be Gavin Howard that'll get the start, not Branson Howard. And that's who's going to lead off tonight's game here today. Briley, scouting report on Mason Miller. We talked a little bit about it, but you caught him as the catcher for at least 1 year.
Right. Yeah, like I said, he's almost a different pitcher this year than when I've seen him. Whenever I caught him, he always showed signs of life and signs of being a really elite pitcher. But this year he's been different because he's had that command of the strike zone, and he's been able to throw that off-speed pitch for a strike, and he's been a lot better of a pitcher this year.
Mason, those last 2 starts, and I mean the key to that is throwing first pitch strikes.
Right.
And in the game against Breckinridge County, where he went the distance of 9 innings and ended up getting a no decision, which stunk because both he pitched extremely well, and so did, I think it was Cole Proctor that pitched for Breckinridge County. It was one of those games that you hated that either pitcher had to get a no decision because both pitchers threw the ball unbelievably well.
Yeah.
If you were interested in pitching, it was one of those games that you wanted to see. Gavin Howard will lead off tonight's game for Whitesville Trinity on the season, hitting a .176, 1 double. He's a lone triple on the team and has 4 runs batted in. A sophomore, he had a walk in the game in Whitesville on Monday evening. And the first pitch from Mason Miller is a ground ball to the third baseman Hawkins. He charges in on the grass, throws across the diamond, 1 pitch, 1 out, and tonight's game is underway from Leitchfield with a ground out, 5-3. Perfect way to start the game if you're Mason Miller. 1 pitch, 1 out, that's music to a pitcher's ears.
It's hard to be better than that.
Mason Manningly is going to be the 2-hole hitter tonight for the Raiders, hitting .171 on the season. Does have 3 runs batted in. He's the lone lefty for the Raiders. One thing that does stand out a lot about this Whitesville Trinity team, as the pitch from Miller is fouled off into the Whitesville dugout down that third base line. One thing that stands out, though, about this Raider team is, yes, they struggle to hit the ball, hitting about 190, but they walk a lot, as they average just about 5 walks a game. As that pitch is outside, just misses, and that'll move our count here to 1 ball and 1 strike to the junior Mason Mattingly. So for a team, Briley, you're the catcher behind the plate. You know that they do walk about 5 times a game as there's a swing and a miss on a pitch. Shows you that they're in some ways up there, that they will watch pitches go by.
Right, and they struggle offensively and they walk a lot. So, I mean, you got to attack the zone.
The 1-2 pitch is a little pop fly off to the left side. The left fielder, Van Meter, is under, and there is the second out of this game. Van Meter, luckily, he was playing in on that, because if not, that would have been one of those little bloop hits down that third base line. The batter now will be Landon Huff. He's the best hitter on this Whitesville Trinity High School team, as he is hitting .313, 2 doubles, 7 runs batted in. He does have the most pop on the team, and the first pitch is just high from Mason Miller. And Sean Williams is behind the plate calling the balls and strikes, and out in the field is Tony Beard. The pitch from Miller is outside, and Huff is ahead in the count here, 2 balls and no strikes. You've got senior on junior. I know Landon Huff is a very, very good basketball player as well, and Miller bounces one in there, and he's falling behind here, 3 balls and no strikes to the 3-hole hitter, Huff. Miller, the quick worker, quickly delivers the 3-0, called strike. And that is, as the Cincinnati Reds color analyst Chris Welsh will say, that's the 3-0 Leo.
Mm-hmm.
Pitch probably that wasn't a strike on any other pitch. Huff swings at the 3-1 pitch, grounds it to the third baseman Hawkins. He'll throw across the diamond, and 1, 2, 3 go the Raiders. Through the top half of the first inning, no score between Grayson County and Whitesville Trinity. This is Cougar Baseball on K105. Welcome back here to Grayson County High School. Nathan Hernandez is the starting pitcher tonight for the Raiders, as Hernandez on this season pitching. This is his third start on the season, 7th overall game, 0-1 with a .525 earned run average, 13 strikeouts, 7 walks. The sophomore pitcher, he hit a major growth spurt in between his freshman and sophomore year. I know I had that stat during basketball season. I think he grew something like 6 inches during those 2 years. So he's grown a lot. As the Raiders defensively, they're going to line up. It's going to be Will Hernandez in left. Howard will be the center fielder. All is the right fielder. And around the horn, starting with the third baseman, Mills, Huff, Crisp, Mattingly. Hatfield is going to be behind the plate. And it'll be Nathan Hernandez again as the starting pitcher. For Grayson County, leading off, going to be Dane Hawkins. He leads the team in batting average, hitting .389, 6 doubles, a triple and a home run. And that triple came in the top half of the first inning on Monday against this Raider team. He jumped on the first pitch, and that's exactly what he does there, and lines it in to left field, and it gets past the third baseman and the left fielder and goes all the way to the wall. And Dane Hawkins is going to cruise into second base with a leadoff double. He saw one pitch and lined it down into the corner, and that is a perfect way to start off if you're the Grayson County offense. And it's now going to be the left-handed hitter Jackson Higdon for Grayson County. Higdon on the season, very, very limited at-bats. In fact, he's only had 2 at-bats on the season, 0 for 2. This is his first career varsity start as a senior, and he's getting it as a designated hitter. The pitcher Hernandez checks the runner at second. Higdon swings over top of that one. As Higdon, again, basketball-wise, Whitesville Trinity knows him very well as being a three-point specialist, but again, they don't really probably have much scouting report on him as a hitter, as he does a nice job extending on that one to foul that one off, but he's quickly behind in the count here at no balls and 2 strikes to the sophomore Nathan Hernandez.
No, I have to imagine Whitesville doesn't really have a scouting report on the offensive unit that is Jackson Higdon.
Yeah, I mean, but when you have 2 at-bats on the season, what can you have a scouting report on? And he has a ground ball to the shortstop, Crisp. He turns all the way around, makes a nice play, and gets Higdon out at first, but Hawkins does advance to third base.
And really, for a guy that doesn't get many at-bats, that's a well-struck ball. As a lefty, I mean, you hit the ball hard, pull it, that's all you can do.
And it was a nice play by the third baseman to...
Second base.
Second baseman, yes,
right.
To stop that one
of
from
a hit,
through.
yeah.
Chandler McCready is the batter here for Grayson County, and the pitch is popped straight up in the infield. The pitcher, Hernandez, will call, and he drops the ball. He drops the ball, and McCready is safe, and Hawkins couldn't do anything on it. He had to stay at third base.
That right there is 2 things that you can't do. If you have a runner on third with less than 2 outs, you can't pop it up in the infield because that doesn't get the run across. And the pitcher does not need to be making that play.
That's a third baseman's ball all the time.
You have to call
the left side of the infield.
Yep.
The hitter now will be Camden Brothers for Grayson County, hitting .167, 3 runs batted in for Grayson. Trying to add to that total here. McCready is off. They're going to throw down, and it's a short throw, and the second baseman, Crisp, has to run in and grab it on the grass. But he did a nice job on doing that because him doing so kept Hawkins at third.
And that was them trying to deke Dane to run home right there. I think that was definitely an intentional short throw.
That was called a strike, though, to Brothers, and he fouls that one off, and he's quickly behind in the count here at 0-2 strikes. Camden Brothers here's entire at-bat, though, changes with 2 runners in scoring position. He lifts one into the outfield. It could be 2-0 Grayson County really quick in this. Hernandez checks the runner. Hawkins at third, delivers the pitch, and he extends on that one to foul it off to the right side. Again, Grayson County beat this Whitesville Trinity team on Monday evening as they scored the first inning as Dane Hawkins came around to score. And they scored another run in the fourth. Mason Miller came around to score that one. Trying to help himself here already is the Grayson County offense. Camden Brothers sees a pitch in the dirt. Good eye. And the count moves to 1-2 strikes.
Yeah, this is an early spot where if you're the Cougars, you have to push a run across here. You have 2 runners in scoring position, 1 out, you got to score.
Hernandez checks the runners, delivers the pitch. Like a little bit of a breaking ball there that I think Brothers wasn't necessarily ready for, but did a nice job slowing down the bat to make sure he at least made some semblance of contact.
And in this spot, you don't want to go down looking. You can't let the umpire ring you up. So if it's anything close, you got to fight it off and wait for your pitch.
The 1-2 is inside, just misses, and you mentioned that, and I thought that was going to be one of those pitches.
It looks like it was a little bit up, but, I mean, Camden's not a short kid, so.
And no matter how tall you are, that batting, the taller you are, the bigger the zone is. The break even coming to Brothers is a sweeping breaking ball that just misses again. And the count will move full here at 3-2 strikes. Again, Sean Williams calling the balls and strikes behind the plate. Tony Beard is our field umpire for tonight's game. Hernandez trying not to lose Brothers. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. That's a good pitch from Nathan Hernandez because other than foul that one off, Camden Brothers probably can't do a whole lot with that.
Can't do anything with it, but he already got 2 pretty close calls to go his way. You can't let that get to 3.
Third time's the charm. Mason Miller is the pitcher for Grayson County, and he will now try to help himself, hitting 190. And he swings at the first pitch and fouls it off. Hitting 190 on the season, does have 2 doubles and 3 runs batted in. As a starting pitcher, it'd be music to your ears if you can get yourself a base hit here and at least get 1 to help yourself out. Hernandez gets the sign, delivers the 0-1, and Miller has a ground ball booted by the first baseman. 1 run is going to score. They're going to round McCready, and there's going to be a play at home, and McCready is out. So the Cougars do get 1 run on the air by the first baseman, and through 1 full, it's 1-0. Grayson County leads. This is Cougar Baseball on K. Welcome back here to Leitchfield. Grayson County has a 1-0 lead over the Raiders of Whitesville Trinity. Nathan Hernandez, the pitcher, will lead off the top half of the second. Grayson County had a runner thrown out at the home there on the last play of that last inning. It was a hard ground ball to the first baseman who bobbled it Mattingly. And luckily, Crisp, the second baseman, was there to recover and throw McCready out, and it wasn't very close at home as McCready was clearly out by 3 steps. McCready, though, we'll give him credit, made a nice slide. I mean, that's all you can do there, is you just got to make sure that you can make some semblance of a good slide and see what it comes up with. Hernandez this season for the Raiders, stepping in 179, has a double. 7 runs batted in, but the stat that stands out the most to me is he has 39 at-bats and has only struck out 3 times. That's impressive.
Yeah,
that's impressive. So it's 1 strikeout every 13 at-bats. So that means that he's up there to hit the ball.
Right.
Miller's first pitch to Hernandez is a swing and a miss. And 0-1 goes the count here early on. Sam Gormley and Briley Napier with you today. From the rain is gone and turned out to be a very nice night. A little dribbler. The pitcher, Miller, goes to the first base side, grabs it, and throws on to the first baseman, Shepard, for the first out of the inning. Miller did a nice job getting off that mound very quickly and delivered a nice throw to Shepard to get the first out. Connor Hatfield, the catcher, will now be the hitter for the Raiders. This season hitting .087, 8 walks, and he's also been hit by 5 pitches. So his batting average is not great, but his on-base percentage is very high because he draws walks and gets hit by a pitch. You know any catchers that get hit by a lot of pitches, Bradley?
I know one pretty well myself, honestly.
The first pitch is fouled off. For those that don't know, Briley Napier, the former catcher for Grayson County, was hit by many pitches during his career. He was not afraid to take pitches at all.
I tried to go for the state record, fell just short.
The 1-1 is high and inside, and falling behind in the count here. 2 balls and 1 strike is Mason Miller. Hatfield, an 8th grader, getting the start behind the plate tonight, and a sweeping breaking ball comes inside and gets that inside corner. That'll even up the count here at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Miller really had that pitch going against Breckenridge County 2.5 weeks ago. If he can get that rolling early on, and there's another ground ball, this time to the second baseman, Childress. He'll fire. There's a second out of the inning. And we talked about this in the open, Briley, but with all the rain that is coming in, as it looks like they're throwing the ball around in there, and it looks like Dean Hawkins and Mason Miller were both going for it, and they ran into one another.
Dane was probably having a bit too much fun there, if you got to ask me.
But we talked about it. There was no tarp on the field when all of this rain came in, so that grass is very wet.
Oh, absolutely.
Which means that ball's going to move a little bit slower than it usually does. The left-handed hitter, Will Hernandez, is in, and he watches the first pitch ball on the inside corner. The 8th grader hitting .227 on the season. He leads the team with 10 walks. And the first pitch is fouled into the dugout and nearly takes someone's head off, but looks like it split 2 Raider players inside, and one of them's yelling in at the dugout. Looks like Higdon, the 8th grader, is yelling in at the hitter, Hernandez, saying, next time, watch out, man.
Yeah.
Miller looks like he's going to get a new ball. He throws that in to head coach Danny Clark. Gets one new. Again, it's one of those things that when the ball rolls out there in the grass, it's going to be soaking wet, and it's a lot harder to throw a ball like that. The 1-1 just misses outside. That'll move the count here to 2 balls and 1 strike. But we talked about it. The ball will move just ever so slightly slower in a wet grass. It's something you need to keep in mind. Cold strike on the outside corner. Didn't seem like Hernandez agreed with that one. But Sean Williams, the umpire, a legend in this area behind the plate. The break even. Fouled off behind the plate, and we'll do it one more time. I know, Brawley, you touched on it a little bit. Sean is, if not the best umpire in the region, he's up there top 3 or 4.
Yeah. Every time you see him at your game, especially as a catcher, you perk up a little bit. You get a little happier.
The break even from Miller is a swing and a miss. It gets past McCready. He'll throw down to first, and that is the inning. Through 1.5, Grayson County leads this one 1-0. It's Cougar baseball on K105. Caden Woodcock will lead off the bottom of the second inning for Grayson County, where they have a 1-0 lead over the Whitesville Trinity Raiders. It's Sam Gormley and Briley Napier with you tonight. A beautiful night from Don Leitchfield. Nathan Hernandez, the pitcher, and the first pitch to swinging breaking ball that Woodcock swings over top of. So quickly behind in the count here at 0-1 strike is the senior outfielder, Caden Woodcock, on the season 167. He does have an on-base percentage just below 400, so he will get on base, and there's a called strike on the inside corner. And quickly ahead in the count here at 0-2 strikes. Has 3 doubles, only 2 runs batted in, but he led off for most of this season, and he hasn't had many opportunities to have runs batted in. The 0-2 is fouled off by Woodcock as it dribbles, and we just saw a perfect example of what we were talking about last half inning, as that ball, if it's not wet, rolls all the way into the Whitesville Trinity dugout down the third base side. It just kind of rolled and died halfway. It's the water building up on that ball. Hernandez, the 0-2 pitch to Woodcock, is fouled off behind the plate, and we'll do it one more time. In the first inning for Grayson County, they scored 1 run on the error by the first baseman, and then had the runner McCready thrown out at home to make the final outs. The 0-2 coming to Woodcock is high and outside for ball 1. For Grayson County, in a lot of ways, Briley, and you'd be able to confirm this, they just need an inning where they can score 4 or 5 runs just to get the offense feeling better about themselves. The 1-2 is a ground ball to the third baseman, Mills. He'll throw across the diamond and get the speedy Woodcock by a step, and there's the first out of the inning.
Yeah, they need something to boost their confidence, and really, I thought last inning was going to be a good opportunity to do it because, I mean, when the opposing defense makes 2 errors, you got to capitalize on it.
Ethan Snyder is the hitter now for Grayson County. The sophomore steps in and fouls the first one off to the right side out of play. Snyder this season hitting 184, has a double, 6 runs batted in. He's made some nice plays in the field, and he's got the pickoff move down to perfection, catching the ball down at the shortstop, especially getting it from Dane Hawkins. He does a nice job extending to foul that one off, but he's quickly behind in the count here at 0-2 strikes. Snyder does a long look down to the pitcher, Hernandez, who is just waiting for the home plate umpire, Sean Williams, to get set to deliver the pitch. And here it comes. The 0-2 is high for ball 1. One thing you see a lot from the high school guys is that they're very quick workers. And that's good. It gets nice pace to the game. That could really help a pitcher, too. And Snyder gets one right back up the middle for a base hit. So it goes underneath the glove of the shortstop, Huff. And there's a base hit right up the middle by Ethan Snyder, and Grayson County has a runner on base with only 1 down in the inning.
That's a good piece of hitting right there. 1-2 count. You got to sit back on that off speed and just drop it right back up the middle.
It'll now be the freshman Jaron Van Meter for Grayson County. On the season, 207 with 2 runs batted in. One of the lone lefties again on this Grayson County team. And you watch the first pitch high for ball 1.
With a 1-0 count here against a struggling defense, probably expecting a hit and run here from the Cougars.
Cougars up 1-0 in this game, trying to add to their lead. Snyder a decent lead, and here comes the pickoff move, and he's in safely
and I have to assume that Whitesville probably has the same idea with that pickoff move.
Hernandez, the righty, the long look into the catcher Hatfield, who looked long at his wristband. Now he delivers the signal to Hernandez. The pitch is off, it's a pitch out, and the throw is wide, and Snyder is in safely. As Whitesville Trinity knew that was coming, and if it was a good throw, he might have been out. But a pitch high and outside moves the count here to 2-0 strikes, and now Grayson County's got a runner in scoring position with Ethan Snyder. Van Meter, the lefty, hit to the right side of the infield would help out, and he pops one up straight up into the infield. As it's going to be called off by the second baseman, Crisp, who swings it, and he drops it, but I think they are going to call this an out. Are they calling it an out or not? We haven't seen an official signal from the umpire
Yet.
Tony Beard and Sean Williams are looking at one another, and it seems like they're going to say that that's a hit.
The runner standing on first base.
So I guess they're going to give him on the error there by Crisp as he caught it. I thought that was going to be an out.
It looked to me like it was drop on possession, or he had possession and he dropped it when he was on the transfer, but really you can't even let that happen there.
It'll be Gavin Childress, the senior, to hit now for Grayson County, and he watches a first pitch ball outside. So now Grayson County's got runners on first and second with only one out.
I'm shocked to see that the Whitesville coach really didn't come out to make any sort of fuss.
Pitch outside for ball 2 to Gavin Childress. Childress on the season for Grayson County, hitting .255, 1 triple, 5 runs batted in. Be nice to see a patented Gavin Childress triple right here. You watch the pitch outside here for ball 3.
Unfortunately, seems like Whitesville might have gotten the memo on that, and they're not really giving him anything to hit.
Standing in the on-deck circle, though, is probably not a guy they'd want to face with the bases loaded.
Absolutely not.
And the best bat in the Grayson County lineup in Dane Hawkins. The 3-0 is a strike right down the middle. And now Childress is in this at bat here, 3 balls and 1 strike. The runner Snyder is at second. The runner Van Meter is at first. 1 down here in the bottom half of the second inning. Grayson County on top, 1-0. And there is a little blooper caught by the shortstop, Huff, for the second out of the inning.
And that's not what you want there with 2 runners on, but hopefully Dane Hawkins has come through here and make Gavin feel a lot better about that.
Hawkins tonight, first pitch he saw, he lined into left field.
And as you can see, the left fielder's already shifting over pretty hard. But
the left fielder, in fact, you mentioned that, is playing. They are playing in the corner. Outfielders are playing almost on the warning track. And the first pitch is a cold strike on the inside corner to Dane Hawkins. I don't think Dane agreed with that pitch at all as he looks back at Sean Williams and starts laughing. I don't think he agreed with that, and he's still laughing at him and smiling.
That's certainly not Dane trying to show him up. That's him. That's a genuine laugh.
Outside for ball 1, it gets past the catcher, and that is going to advance both of the runners up to second and third on the wild pitch there from Nathan Hernandez. And now, with your senior up, this is a must base hit situation. With your best hitter on the team, the 1-1 coming from the sophomore Nathan Hernandez is ripped into left field, and the left fielder was playing back, and because of that, it's going to drop. 1 run will score. Here comes the second one. Grayson County leads 3-0 on a 2-run single by Dane Hawkins. He turns on the pitch and lines it into left field. Base hit, 2 runners cross the plate. And we talked about it at the start of the at-bat. The Raider defense was playing back in a big-time way, and because of that, that allowed that ball to drop. If he was playing straight up, it might have been a closer play.
That certainly would have been a closer play with a normal defensive outfield.
Jackson Higdon is the hitter now for Grayson County. He grounded out to the second baseman in his lone at bat on the season. Hawkins is the runner at first. He has a nice lead, and Hawkins grounds one to the first baseman. Mattingly he picks, and he's just going to tag Higdon out for the final out of the inning. But Grayson County does add 2 more. And through 2 full innings, Cougs on top 3-0. This is Cougar Baseball on K105. Top of the third inning we come. Grayson County on top of this one, 3-0. Sam Gormley and Briley Napier with you tonight. And leading off the bottom half of this, or the top half of the third, will be Carter Crisp for the Raiders. Crisp on the season hitting .161, 3 runs batted in and 1 double. Grayson County added 2 runs in the bottom half of the second inning on the base hit by Dane Hawkins, the biggest hit of this game so far. Miller quickly pitches in right when Crisp is ready. He delivers a first pitch strike right down Broadway. It's a perfect way to start off this top half of the third. Miller again immediately, right when Crisp gets in the box, he's ready to pitch, and a sweeping breaking ball is called for a strike on the inside quarter. Carter Crisp, the 8th grader for this Raider team, playing second base right now. And Chandler McCready is going to go out and he's going to walk the ball up to Mason Miller, and Chandler might even be saying, hey man, I'm not even ready out there right now either. Slow down, man.
Mason's working really quick tonight, and as a catcher, I didn't really like when the pitcher worked quick, because I like to get all my P's and Q's in order before the pitch came.
Here comes the 0-2, and it's low and outside for ball 1. It's one of those things I think there's a fine line, where it's nice to have, you don't want to be too slow. You don't want to be Yu Darvish like a pitcher there in the major leagues where you're in a minute in between pitches, and there's a swing and a miss at a pitch in the dirt. McCready thought about chasing the runner up the line, but instead smartly just throws the ball off to Shepard for the first out of this inning.
Yeah, and pitcher and catcher have to have a good relationship to figure out what time in between pitch really works. I know me and Kane Smith, I caught him for 7-8 years, and once I put my glove up, he's ready to go. We kind of were on the same brainwave.
Higdon All will be the hitter here for the Raiders, hitting .212 on the season. The first pitch to him is high and outside for ball 1. All does lead the team with 15 strikeouts on the year as the 8th grader, and looking up and down this Raider team, lots of 8th graders, so a very young team. The 1-0, cold strike at the knees. Miller, again, in the pace of game, and I know I've mentioned this, I think, in every baseball broadcast that we've done, as the 1-1 comes, and it's a swing and a miss, and 1 ball and 2 strikes is the account, and is Wade Miley for the Reds, is kind of the epitome of working extremely fast. Well, Yu Darvish for the Padres now, which is weird for me not to say the Cubs, and that pitch just misses outside, and that'll even up the count here at 2 balls and 2 strikes, where you've got the difference between fast and slow. And I know we were just talking where Chandler made the pitch out, or made the walk out to Mason Miller to tell him to slow down, is Tucker Barnhart, the Reds catcher, had to do that one time to Wade Miley. Called strike 3, the sweeping breaking ball. That one was close enough, and Sean Williams rings up the 8-hole hitter, and they'll turn to the 9-hole hitter, Nolan Mills, the 3rd baseman for the Raiders this season, hitting .194 with 1 run batted in.
I'll tell you who doesn't mind the quick working from Mason Miller. That's Sean behind the plate. He doesn't mind it one bit, I'll tell you that.
No doubt about that. And pitch inside for ball 1, and you know who else doesn't mind it? Sam Gormley, the play-by-play guy, because it means we get home quicker, especially when you got a 3-0 lead. The 1-0 pitch coming, it just misses on the inside corner.
And this team, especially when you're struggling like they are, they don't really care about stats. But I know Mason Miller, if he can continue to shove like this.
Called strike on the inside corner to Nolan Mills.
If Mason can continue to shove against a weaker offense like Whitesville, his numbers for the season are going to start to look really, really good.
The 2-1, high for ball 1. Or for ball 3, sorry. And Miller on the season came in with a .259 ERA. 28 strikeouts, so he's already passed the 30 strikeout mark for the season so far tonight. And that pitch hits Mills in the back, and that's the first Whitesville Trinity base runner. And Nolan Mills trots down for the free pass.
Well, that doesn't add to his walk total, at least.
It does not. It's a good way to put it. Gavin Howard, the center fielder, will now hit. He grounded out to the 3rd baseman Hawkins in his first at-bat of tonight's game. Now, what you got to do here if you're Mason Miller is shake it off. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't let a hit by pitch turn into a walk here or a meatball as there's a pickoff attempt, and it gets past the first baseman Shepard, and luckily Camden Brothers backs it up. It goes and runs and gets it and falls down, and Mills, the runner at first, I don't think realized that Brothers fell down, and he's a little slow to get up, but I think that's maybe more of a pride slow to get up than I'm injured. Well, we'll hope that it's a pride thing.
That was probably the dugout looking at him, giving him a rough time more so than anything.
As Mills was, if that was a better throw, he might have been out. Now here comes a pickoff attempt. He dives in safe ahead of the tag. Mills getting a very large lead. For the Raiders this season, they do steal, 32 steals on 37 attempts. Mills 2 of 2 so far this year.
Not bad, but when you have a team that is struggling offensively like this, you kind of gotta try anything to get something going.
Mills again scurries back, and that time it wasn't even close. And Tony Beard is walking in. I'm not sure if he's yelling at the Cougar dugout to say if the Cougar dugout was giving him some words.
I
or
believe
something.
Probably, a lot of high school dugouts, they'll do the not even close chant. That is no longer allowed by the KHSAA. That might have been the situation there.
Here comes the 1-0. Miller checks the runner, delivers the pitch, fouled off to the right side out of play. And who knows what it might have been.
That is a very popular chant across high school baseball, especially around here. And the KHSAA has tried to cut down on, jawing back and forth, kind of like that.
Miller's going to step off the mound here, and he's going to reset this at bat. But as I do know, K105 Digital Productions crew member and baseball manager Chase Blaine's down there, and you never know what he's saying to the umpires. Fly ball, straight away, center field. Woodcock calls off Van Meter and makes the final out of the inning. Through 2.5, Cougs on top 3-0. This is Cougar Baseball on bottom of the third inning. We head as Grayson County leads this one 3-0 over the Raiders of Whitesville Trinity. Chandler McCready will lead off for the Cougars. Sam Gormley with you tonight alongside Briley Napier.
And I wanted to correct you on something real quick. The last inning you mentioned Chase Blaine, and you said he was just Cougar manager. You forgot to mention that he is the greatest Cougar manager ever to come through Grayson County.
Gotta love Chase Blaine down there. I don't see him down there. I don't know if he's
probably working. He's working too hard somewhere, I bet.
He is. Oh, there he is. He's popped out now. Looks like he had to grab some more baseballs or something down there. There's no man that works harder in that dugout than Mr. Chase Blaine. Chandler McCready going to lead off for Grayson County. He popped up and reached on an error in his first at-bat, and the first pitch he sees from Nathan Hernandez is a ball inside. As Chandler did the one thing that he couldn't do, which was pop up in the infield, but luckily it was dropped. In fact, the two straight-up pop-ups that have been hit by Grayson County have both been dropped by the Raiders. As here comes the 1-0 pitch, and that's, again, popped straight up in the infield. This time it's called off by the shortstop, Huff, and he will snag that one, and he immediately, if he had a third hand, he probably would have put that on there as well to make sure that that one was not dropped, and that is the first out of the inning. That was popped a mile high in the air.
And you see Chandler McCready. He's dropping that back shoulder at the plate, and he's getting under the ball. It's something that's an easy fix, though.
Camden Brothers going to be the hitter now for Grayson County. He struck out looking in his first at-bat, and he grounds one to the shortstop. Huff kind of dies on that grass. It's going to be a tough play, and he's safe as the throw is wide. And Camden Brothers is going to reach on an error there by the shortstop, Landon Huff, as it was a wide throw, tough play. It's kind of one of those that you could maybe call it a hit or not.
That is an error, though, because if a good throw was made, Camden's out.
And I do agree with that. So Landon Huff makes the error there, and for Whitesville Trinity so far tonight, that is error number 4 as we are in the bottom half of the third inning. It's going to be Mason Miller now going to try and help himself. He reached on an error by the first baseman in his lone at-bat tonight.
Really, if you're Whitesville here, when nothing seems to be going your way, you have to focus on getting something right. You either got to get the bats going, you got to make good pitches, or make routine plays. And so far, nothing's really going for him.
Hernandez checks the runner Brothers at first, and a sweeping breaking ball is a called strike on the outside corner. was almost like an eephus
That
type pitch.
Yeah, I was about to say that's definitely the best pitch they've thrown tonight. You get the command of that, and Cougars offense, they're probably not touching it.
Another leadoff attempt there by Brothers. Good lead, probably about a 3-step. Hernandez, the long look in. And now he's going to step off and make Brothers take a couple of steps back to that bag.
Camden's probably on the move here. He has a little bit of speed, and this catcher behind the plate has already shown that doesn't quite have the arm to get anybody, but we'll see if he can turn that around right here.
The 0-1 pitch coming to the senior Mason Miller. He's not running. It's a pitch inside for ball 1. Probably would have been a good pitch to run on.
Yeah.
As that was low and inside, so it would have been the exact opposite way where the catcher was going to have to go to throw that.
That would have been a very tough turn.
You would know.
Yes.
I would not. It's the pro to being left-handed. I never had to go behind the plate.
I used to hate it. You learn to love it.
And there's a pickoff attempt that goes wide, and that is going to advance Camden Brothers to second base on the error on the errant throw by the pitcher Nathan Hernandez. And that's why pickoff moves sometimes are not a good thing.
No, if you're gonna make the pickoff move, you gotta make the easy throw. That's only about a 50, maybe 60 feet throw.
The 1-1 to Miller is a fly ball, left center field. It's a long run for the left fielder, and it's going to drop. Rounding third base and going in to score will be Camden Brothers, and Mason Miller's going to have himself a single, and he'll advance to second base on the throw-in. And Grayson County has a 4-0 lead in this game. So that was a long run for the left fielder Hernandez, and it just kind of died out there in no man's land. But it was a nice job by the center fielder Howard to back it up.
Yeah, and if you're Mason, you didn't quite get all of that, but hit's a hit, and he hit the ball well enough, and it dropped right where it needed to be.
And when you're the pitcher, any way that you can help yourself helps yourself in a good way.
Yeah.
Caden Woodcock, the hitter now for Grayson County. He grounded out to the third baseman in his first at-bat, and he dribbles that one foul off into the on-deck circle. It looks like it's going to be Ethan Snyder that's going to go run over there and grab that one.
If there's anybody who wants to hit here, it's definitely Caden Woodcock. He has quite a bit of varsity experience from the past, and he just hasn't been able to find his groove yet at the plate this year.
Miller, actually, no, it looks like we have a courtesy run. Is that a courtesy runner
Yes.
out there? It is, I think, as there's a little dribbler in front of the plate. The catcher will throw on for the out. It's Keaton Hodges, I believe, is the courtesy runner in there for Mason Miller. And 2-3 on the putout for Caden Woodcock. Hodges does advance to third there on the play, so with 2 outs, it's going to turn to Ethan Snyder.
And the struggles continue for Woodcock, but an Ethan Snyder single here to drive in this run will definitely make him feel a lot better.
Snyder's 1 for 1 tonight. He had a base hit up the middle in his only at bat, and he swings underneath of that one. And no balls and 1 strike here from Nathan Hernandez. Again, 4-0. Grayson County leads this one. It's on a Wednesday night. There's not a whole lot of scores that we can go around to bring you, as Wednesday night is not a common night for games to happen. I know that a lot of teams did move their Tuesday games to Wednesday because they were districts. Just pitch high and outside for ball 1. Cougars are going to be back in action tomorrow. Make the trip to Hartford to play the Eagles of Ohio County. Then on Saturday, they're going to have their typical Saturday showcase as they play Allen County, Scottsville, and Nelson County. I think 11 o'clock and 4 o'clock. There's a ground ball base hit. It's off the glove of the pitcher, the recovery throw, and he is going to be safe.
The ball.
It's dropped by the first baseman Mattingly, and that's going to allow the 5th run to cross the plate. As what happened there is it was a ground ball up the middle, went off the glove of Hernandez, and it was recovered by Huff, and Huff threw the ball to the first baseman Mattingly. So Snyder is going to be safe by the error by the first baseman.
Yeah, and that's a tough play for the shortstop, and as a pitcher, you want to be able to make the play, but if you let that go through, it's a much easier throw, and you probably get the out.
So Mattingly gets the error on that one. It's going to be Jaron Van Meter, and he swings over top of the first pitch that he sees for no balls and 1 strike. Van Meter in his 1 at-bat today reached on an error on the little pop-up to the second baseman, Crisp. Gavin Childress stands in the on-deck circle for Grayson County. I know he had an at-bat that he wanted to forget about last time up. And there's I guess it was a pitch out of sorts, as 1 ball and 1 strike as the catcher behind the plate tonight's Hatfield is not very tall, so his pitch out was not, I mean, just because of his height, as I'll try to find here. Hatfield is listed at 5'8".
Hey, I knew a 5'8" catcher.
Did you?
I did.
And there's a sweeping breaking ball, called strike on the outside corner. How tall are you?
It depends on the day. Sometimes it's 5'7". On a good day though, it'll jump up to 5'8".
5'8". You shrink sometimes?
Yeah, it just depends on how I'm feeling that day. How I'll wake up.
The 1-2 strike pitch coming here to the freshman Jaron Van Meter. The runner Snyder is at first. Hernandez checks him and will deliver the 1-2. The runner is off, and there's a blooper into left field, and it's going to drop for a base hit. The left fielder was playing in, but Van Meter got it in there just in that little window to get the base hit.
And that may look like a weak little hit there, but that's a really good piece of hitting with a 2-strike count.
To go opposite field.
Yeah, you get, especially as a lefty, you get that outside fastball that's probably going to get called. You just flick it into left field.
Gavin Childress popped out to the shortstop in his only at-bat tonight. He has an opportunity to help out his team in a big way. First pitch is inside for ball 1.
Yeah, if you're Gavin here, you're a 2 or 3 year varsity player. As a senior, you're wanting to get the big hit here in this district matchup.
The 1-0 with runners on first and second, 2 down here in the bottom of the third. Grayson County leads 5-0. There's another pitch inside for ball 2. You have to wonder, for the Raiders, this will be pitch number 55 for Nathan Hernandez, so he's nowhere near the pitch limit on how long of a leash they would consider giving him. As looking at games, they do play, though, the next 3 days.
Whew.
So presumably he's probably going to get the ball no matter what. Called strike on the inside corner to make the count move to 2-1 strike.
And this is certainly a much different Whitesville team than I played any time in my high school career. But with 12 guys on the roster, that pitching depth can't be very deep.
They've had, I think, 7 different players pitch so far this season. Pitch called strike on the outside corner, and that one looked a little bit outside from our home plate umpire, Sean Williams. But you know what? They're human. They miss one every once in a while.
That was certainly outside, but I think the catcher did a good job of getting over there and bringing that ball back into the zone.
The break-even pitch coming with 2 outs is a swing and a miss from Gavin Childress, and that is the inning. Through 3, Grayson County leads 5-0. This is Cougar Baseball on K105. We head here to the top half of the 4th inning. Mason Miller in for this 4th inning of work, and it'll be Mason Mattingly to lead off for the Raiders. He popped out to shallow left field in his lone at-bat so far today. Mason Miller so far 40 pitches thrown in these 3 innings, 60% for strike. So not quite as efficient as he's been the past couple of starts, but
he's throwing a good game, though. Absolutely.
He is. So far, 3 innings pitched. He has, I think, 3 strikeouts. I'll pull this up here as I'm looking.
No walks, I know that.
And there's a pitch called, strike on the outside corner to Mason Mattingly. Miller so far in this one, 3 strikeouts. Yes, that is correct. And the 1 hit by pitch is the lone base runner so far tonight for the Raiders. The 0-1 is a swing and a miss. Swinging over top of that one is Mattingly, and Miller gets the perfect start here to this top of the 4th inning. Getting ahead in the count here at 0-2 strikes. The 0-2, swing and a miss. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to the first hitter of this inning. He goes down on strikes for that 4th strikeout of the game. Now turn to Landon Huff, the shortstop. Grounded out to the 3rd baseman in his first at-bat of this game coming in. Leading hitter on this team, .313 average entering tonight's contest. First pitch to him is in the dirt for ball 1. Grayson County playing him fairly straight up, but corner outfielders are in. Looks like Woodcock out in center is in a little bit, and the infield is pretty much straight up. Pitch outside for ball 2. Looks like the infield third base in just a little bit. Dane Hawkins down there at third, but nothing too much. He's in on the grass just a little bit.
He's playing about a foot in front of the third base bag.
The 2-0 is outside for ball 3, and Miller has fallen behind the count here to Landon Huff at 3 balls and no strikes.
If you're going to fall behind to a hitter and put him on base, this is probably the guy you want to put on, but you don't want to put anybody on for free, that's for sure.
This is exactly how the last at-bat went, and he got a 3-0 Leo on this pitch, and he's not going to get it this time, as there's a walk, 4-pitch walk to Landon Huff. And that is now going to turn the order to Nathan Hernandez. The pitcher going to try and help himself here, as Hernandez so far in tonight's game 0 for 1. He grounded out to the pitcher. It was a nice play by Mason Miller to get off the mound and grab that one. So the runner on first is Huff, with only one down here in the top half of the 4th. Cougars on top, 5-0. Pickoff attempt in safely is Huff. Hernandez, the 5'10 pitcher, in the batter's box against Mason Miller. Miller checks the runner. The runner is off Huff. Throw down to second. If it's fielded right in, it's not a great throw, and it gets away from Ethan Snyder. And Huff is in safely. That's a good throw, and Huff might have been out there.
Yeah. And Mason Miller, he's quick to the plate, especially with runners on. He'll shorten up his stride quite a bit, and he'll give you just about as good as a chance as anybody to throw the runner out.
Landon Huff now goes to 7 of 8 on stolen bases on the season. And there's a cold strike on the inside corner to Nathan Hernandez, and Miller is ahead in the count here at no balls and 2 strikes. So 1 down here in the top half of the 4th inning. The runner Huff is at second. Another big lead down there at second base. Will Miller attempt the pickoff? He will not. And the pitch into Hernandez is fouled off behind the plate. I know, Riley, we've talked about it past couple of games as well. The play there at second base is called
Daylight.
Daylight.
Yeah, but the runner on second there, the shortstop is actually the one calling the pickoff move. Mason really doesn't have any control over it. And right there.
There comes the pickoff move, and in safely is Landon Huff.
And if you see there, it's certainly hard to see here on the broadcast, but Snyder, the shortstop, will flash his glove, and when Mason looks back to the plate, he turns and goes.
As here comes the pitch, I guess it is dribbled off.
Yeah.
Miller's going to get off the mound. He'll throw, and a high throw is a nice job corralled there by Cody Shepard as it was kind of dribbled off. It almost looked like it was fouled off his foot the way that it came out of the box, but it is going to be a 1-3 putout as it grounded just off to the left side of the plate. The runner, Huff, does advance, though, to third base. And there's 2 down in the inning for Connor Hatfield, the catcher. Grounded out to the second baseman, Gavin Childress, in his lone at-bat in tonight's game. Miller does a long look down to Huff down at third, and the pitch is in the dirt. Nice stop by McCready. Huff does have speed down at third base, and you got to believe with looking just for any semblance of offense that if that ball gets by McCready, Huff is going to go home. Miller checks the runner again, delivers the 1-0 pitch. Cold strike at the knees. Miller trying to keep this a 5-0 game. It's really the first time the Raiders have threatened even remotely in this one. Fouled off behind the plate. And heading the count here at 1 ball and 2 strikes is Mason Miller. Big pitch coming here to the 5-hole hitter, Connor Hatfield. 8th grader trying to help himself as well and help his team. This would be one of the bigger hits of his young career. He's only had 2 hits in his varsity career. This would be one for him to remember against one of the top teams in the district. And it is line drive caught by the first baseman, Cody Shepard. Nice play down at first for the final out of the inning. Raiders threaten, but don't get a runner to cross the plate. And through 3.5, Cougs on top 5-0. It's Cougar Baseball on KHSAA. Welcome back here to Don Lee Field. Sam Gorbling and Bradley Napier with you as we head to the bottom half of the fourth inning. Grayson County on top 5-0. Dane Hawkins going to lead off, the one-hole hitter for Grayson County. He singled to left and doubled to left in tonight's game, so that only means a homer or a triple, right?
In Dane's mind, it's very possible that's what he's looking for.
Pitch outside from Nathan Hernandez, who's in for his fourth inning of work. He's allowed 5 runs, but look here, I'm not sure that any of them have been earned tonight.
Maybe one earned.
No earned runs.
No, yeah.
So he's throwing the ball fairly well, and Hawkins lifts one to left field. It's a long run for the left fielder, and it's going to go all the way to the wall and bounce off of it. Hawkins is going to go into second base, and he has the stop sign held up, and I think when he took a hard turn around second, he was doing exactly what we were saying.
He wanted it.
He wanted the triple there. And he just missed a home run there. As we talked, I think, off air before the game, there might not be a harder place in the region to hit a home run than Don Lee Field.
You don't see home runs hit very often.
Especially on a cool night.
Yeah.
As right now we're looking at the temperature of 57 degrees. So it's even tougher to hit a home run. The hitter now will be Jackson Higdon, and he watches a first pitch called strike. Again, Higdon getting his first career varsity start. He's grounded out to the right side in both at-bats so far tonight, which ground out to the right side would not be a bad thing here because it advances the runner to third.
It's very productive out here.
The 0-1 to Higdon. Called strike at the knees. The long look down to second base for Nathan Hernandez. He checks Hawkins, the runner, one more time. Now looks in. Will he check him a third time? He will. And delivers the 0-2 pitch. It's high for ball one. One kind of slipped out of Hernandez's hand a little bit. I can't imagine that Danny Clark is thinking steal here on going from second to third to run out of an inning here with nobody out.
No, you never make an out at third.
The 1-2 pitch coming to the senior Jackson Higdon is a swing and a miss. Higdon goes down on strikes. And I'll turn to Chandler McCready. McCready has popped out in both of his plays. He did reach on one via an error after Hernandez dropped the ball. But you got to be thinking that he is hungry for a hit. McCready, the catcher. Again, Hernandez takes a long look down in. The second baseman is holding on. And now here comes a pickoff attempt, and Hawkins was in safely, and he was in safely because Crisp, the second baseman, started to move back into his second base position, and Hernandez didn't have anyone to throw the ball to, and he had to hesitate ever so slightly, and that extra hesitation allowed Hawkins to get in with really no effort at all. McCready again is the hitter. Hernandez checks the runner, and McCready dribbles one down the third base line. It's going to be a tough play for Hernandez, and McCready is safe with an infield base hit. Hawkins took a hard turn around third, and he's probably lucky that he didn't get picked off. But that's an infield base hit for Chandler McCready. He was hustling down the line. And a really tough play for Nathan Hernandez. He had to get off and throw across his body. And McCready did a nice job beating that one out, and it allowed her to Camden Brothers. He reached on an error and struck out looking in his 2 at-bats tonight, 0 for 2. Grayson County in this game, 7 hits. And is reached via 6 errors by the Raiders. So you've got runners on the corners with 1 down here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. McCready is off. The throw down to second. He is safe. It was not a bad throw in tag, but McCready got in just ahead of the throw.
Yeah, that was a good throw, and it's certainly interesting that they went ahead and threw that ball through. And with the runner on third, that's really something you don't want to do. But if you get the out, it obviously doesn't matter.
It does, and Hawkins didn't seem to go home on that play, so it didn't seem to matter
no
anyways.
No reason to risk it here with 1 out.
The 1-0 pitch coming here to Camden Brothers. It is a ground ball to the second baseman, Crisp. It's a slow grounder. He'll recover and he'll throw. It's a wide throw.
Drop the ball.
And it's dropped. That's going to be an error. And reaching base will be Camden Brothers. It will be 6-0 Grayson County now. And Nathan Hernandez is probably saying, come on, guys, help me out in the field a little bit. That was a wide throw by the second baseman, Crisp, who will get the error. That's the 7th error of the game for the Raiders. And Grayson County has taken a 6-0 advantage, and again, we go back to where we were to the prior at-bat with runners on the corners with 1 down. Mason Miller, the hitter, he had a base hit into left field in his first at-bat, and that would be exactly what the doctor ordered right here.
Mm-hmm. And the Cougars, so they definitely love the fact that they're up 6-0 in the 4th, but they got to feel like they need to get something going offensively. Really, Dane Hawkins has been the really only truly reliable bat.
He's 3 for 3 is Hawkins, and he stands at third base. Brothers is the runner at first. You got to presume he's going to be off and running. Will they go for a pitch out? They do. Pickoff attempt down to, Hawkins is not the runner at third. It's McCready who's the runner at third. And they tried to pick him off there, and he was not even remotely far away from the bag, and it ended up almost hitting him in the back.
Yeah. Normally, if you're going to try a back pick at third, you certainly don't want to do it on a pitch out because you don't really have any angle whatsoever on the throw.
Especially with a hitter in the right-handed batter's box, it makes
it
even more difficult. Pitch inside is called a strike to Mason Miller, and that'll move our count here to 1 ball and 1 strike. If Jackson Higdon or Gavin Childress, the two lefties in the lineup for Grayson County, was up, it changes everything because you don't have to throw through a hitter because the hitter does not have to leave the box.
No.
He can stand there. The catcher has to throw around him. It's another one of the misconceptions that some people think that
it's a really tough rule, and it's up to every umpire to make the judgment call, but it's confusing.
Pitch outside for ball 2 to Mason Miller. But again, the batter does not have to leave the box.
The batter doesn't have to leave the box, but he doesn't really own the box, actually. You can't. It's a hard judgment call, and you really need a situation to explain it.
Exactly.
You can't explain it with nothing going on.
You've got runners on the corners. The 2-1 pitch coming to Mason Miller with 1 down. Brothers is off. Miller swings over top of that one, and Brothers is going to be in easily down there at second base, and that might have been a hit and run.
It definitely was with a swing like that. In a good situation there, if the catcher goes up and fires to second and makes contact with Mason, Camden's out because on that swing, Mason Miller was in the left-handed batter's box because he lunged all the way across the plate.
So here comes the break-even pitch to Mason Miller, trying to help himself and add to the 6-0 Grayson County lead. Hernandez checks the runner at second, checks him at third. The pitch is a ground ball to the third baseman, Mills. He'll throw across the diamond, and it's a bad throw, and it bounces in. That's going to score 1 run. Here comes the second, and Grayson County leads 8-0. And reaching by an error is Mason Miller, and the Cougs are in business here, leading 8-0. Long throw across the diamond, and
can't seem to catch a break.
No, it's just when it rains, it pours for the Raiders in tonight's game. And Miller's going to take it, though, because he reaches base there.
I think you do give him 1 RBI on that because even if he is out, Chandler was running home. But it could have been a play at the plate, so you never know.
Exactly. It'd still go down as no RBIs as immediately they do go to Keaton Hodges, who will courtesy run for Mason Miller, the pitcher. And first pitch swinging is Woodcock, and he fouls one off down the third base line. So Grayson County leads this one 8-0. Nathan Hernandez, the pitcher in tonight's game, 0 earned runs.
That's brutal. That is,
as they say, it's the
brutal.
epitome of brutality, as he has the Raiders in tonight's game 8 errors. And Danny Clark now going to talk with Caden Woodcock. Bradley, what's this conversation going like?
Like I mentioned earlier, Woodcock's really been struggling at the plate this year, and against a struggling defense and a struggling pitcher, I think Danny's telling him to calm down and try to
just hit the ball.
Just hit the ball. Just square something up. It doesn't have to be, a shot in the gap, but a hard ground ball through a hole, and that could turn your entire season around.
The 0-1 coming is exactly what he does. Base hit into left field. And you've got runners on first and second, and I'm sure Caden Woodcock hadn't had a hit that felt so good all season long.
That felt amazing if you're Caden. That was a really hard hit ball, and it found the hole, and when you square things up, good things happen.
Ethan Snyder will hit now for Grayson County. He's 1 for 2. He's reached base both times, once on an error and once on a base hit up the middle. Now Danny Clark's going to make his way to talk because Jeff Wimsett is going to come, and are we going to have a pitching change? It appears.
I don't believe so.
At first, I thought that he stuck his arm out like he was going to make a pitching change. Hernandez sitting at only 73 pitches, but as we mentioned, Raiders play again tomorrow, again Friday, and again on Saturday.
Yeah, so you want to save pitching here if you're Whitesville, but at the same time, I think pitching coach here is telling them like, hey, you don't have an earned run. You are throwing the ball fine. You're forcing weak contact, and just nobody behind you is helping you out.
They do have a game against Edmonson County coming up. They have their district games against Edmonson County coming up on Monday and Tuesday, so they're not going to want to blow through their pitching staff because those are their games that really do count.
Yeah, those games will matter.
So because for them, they beat Edmonson County in that game being played on Monday that they get to host.
And then
they're the 3 seed.
They're the 3 seed, so you get to face 2 seed rather than the 1 seed.
And that who will be the 1 and the 2 will be settled on Monday in Morgantown, as
Big
Grayson
game.
County and Butler County will face in that one. The winner gets the 1 seed, the loser gets the 2 seed. The batter is Ethan Snyder, and he watches the first pitch ball on the inside corner. Runner Woodcock is at first. The runner Hodges is at second. Again, Hodges is the courtesy runner for the pitcher Mason Miller. Grayson County on top of this one, 8-0. Hernandez checks the runner at second, delivers the 1-0 pitch, and it's a ground ball right back to him. He bobbles, he'll go to, thought about going to second, but instead gets the sure out at first. That's the second out of the inning. The runners do advance on the ground out, 1-3. Smart play by Hernandez to get the guaranteed out at first base. So now turn to Jaron Van Meter. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Reached on an error and singled into left field.
And a base hit here to score 2 could be pretty big for the Cougars here.
He does that, and that puts us in a mercy rule situation as we head to the 5th inning. And he grounds one to the shortstop, Huff. He gathers, he throws, and it's a wild throw. 2 runs are going to cross the plate. Grayson County leads 10-0, and Jaron Van Meter reaches on the error by the shortstop, Huff. The defensive struggles continue tonight for the Raiders. And Grayson County leads this 10-0, and again, that puts us in run rule situation as we have to get obviously into the 5th inning for that, unless Grayson County can cross 5 more runs in the plate. As Gavin Childress is up, and it's a swing and a miss.
That swing right there is everybody else on my team has been on base tonight except for me, and I really need to barrel something up, so he's lunging.
Gavin Childress tonight popped out to the shortstop and struck out swinging in his 2 at-bats, and that pitch is outside for ball 1. Van Meter is the runner at first base, and I presume that he will not be doing much of anything in this one.
Probably shouldn't be. And if you're Childress here, you need to take a deep breath, and you need to not over-exaggerate anything because...
Big lead, though, by Van Meter down at first base. Hernandez took a long look at him, and a swing and a miss on a sweeping breaking ball for Gavin Childress. I think, and it's one of these things here that you don't need to, and you know Gavin a lot more than I do.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that he has Barry Bonds' power.
Oh, absolutely not. But he knows the game of baseball, and I know him well enough to know that he wants to do something here.
The 1-2 pitch is grounded right back to the pitcher Hernandez. He's going to run halfway to make sure that that ball can be thrown to the first baseman properly, and that is the inning. Grayson County, though, they cross more runners across this plate, and through 4 full, they lead 10-0. It's Cougar baseball right here on KHSAA. Welcome back here to Don Leitchfield. Mason Miller will be on here for his 5th inning of work, and he's going to try and shut the door here on the Raiders. As we are in the run rule situation, the Raiders have to score to keep this game alive. Looking at the line score in this game for the Raiders of Whitesville Trinity, 0 runs, 0 hits, 9 errors. For Grayson County, 10 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. The lone base runners for the Raiders of Whitesville Trinity, a hit by pitch and a walk. It was a 4-pitch walk to Landon Huff in the last inning. For the Raiders, it'll be Will Hernandez, Carter Crisp, and Higdon all for this inning. Again, they need to score at least 1 run to make us head into the bottom half of this inning. If not, that ends it right there. Will Hernandez is the batter. To lead off, he's 0 for 1, and he struck out swinging on a drop first strike. And that pitch is a called strike. It's swinging strike. Sean Williams, the home plate umpire, says that he did go on that one. It's one of those things that he has to make that call because with it being a lefty, they'd go traditionally in major leagues to the third base umpire, but that can't happen as that's fouled off down the third base line because the lone field umpire is standing down the first base side, and he has no way of seeing that one because the back is to it.
And I like when umpires check on check swings with their other umpire, but that was a pretty obvious call right there.
The 0-2 pitch coming. Called strike 3 to Will Hernandez. And there's one down here in the top half of the 5th inning. Again, the Raiders have 0 hits here in this inning, in this game. So far, Mason Miller trying to shut down the door for what would be a 5-inning no-hitter. Carter Crisp is the hitter. He also struck out, and he does a fly ball straight away center field. Woodcock is under. And that is the second out of this inning. Mason Miller 1 out away from finishing this one off. Higdon will be the hitter. He struck out looking in his lone at-bat in tonight's game. Grayson County trying to move to 7-12 on the season and a perfect 4-0 in district play. Miller looks like he gets a new ball. I think they were throwing it around the diamond, and it threw down to Dane Hawkins down at third base, and he misplayed it, and it rolled all the way down the third base line. And I guess our camera operator, Cody Brock, couldn't help him out down there or something.
No, he works hard, but he gets a little lazy when it comes down the field issues.
Higdon first pitch, high and inside for ball 1. Again, Mason Miller trying to finish off what would be a 5-inning no-hitter in tonight's game against the Raiders of Whitesville Trinity. The pitch. Called strike on the outside corner from our home plate umpire, Sean Williams. All again struck out looking in his one at-bat so far tonight. Miller checks the sign from McCready. The wind of the pitch. Swing and a miss. And that will make our count here go to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mason Miller trying to close this one out in what would be a 10-0 Cougar victory. Cougars have scored in every run so far, every run in every inning. The pitch, high and inside for ball 2, and that'll lead up the count here at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Even though they've been playing a weak Whitesville team, this is going to feel like a good win for the Cougars.
Here comes the break-even pitch from Mason Miller. Is a ground ball to the second baseman, Childress. He'll throw on to first. That's a 5-inning no-hitter for Mason Miller and a Grayson County win. Cougs win 10-0 over Whitesville Trinity. We'll come back and wrap it up after this. This is Grayson County Cougar Baseball on K1. Mason Miller throws a no-hitter through 5 innings in tonight's game, and Grayson County picks up a 10-0 victory over Whitesville Trinity. As the final line score of this game, Grayson County, I mean, this is one of these games that you gotta love if you're Grayson County. As I just realized that my final stat here that I was tweeting out was not exactly correct, so we will try to update that as I'm talking to you. Bradley, final thoughts on tonight's game?
If you're the Cougars, you go home happy. You would have liked to see a bit more offensive production out of them, but at the same time, any game you put up 10 runs, you feel good about it. Mason pitched a heck of a game. He's gone on to have a really good season, and obviously don't know his stats right now on the year, but I mean he's pushing a sub-2 ERA with a lot of strikeouts, not many walks. When you have the 1-2 punch of Dane and Mason working, you can go take that district tournament. I mean, you can take it, and you can make a push in the region. When your pitching's working, you can go up against anybody, but the bats need to find a groove, and they need to find a way to get going.
We talked with, I think it was Chase Blaine, who's one of the managers for the team, also helps up on our K105 Digital Productions crew. We've heard him talk a little bit as well. We talked before, I think it was the Breckenridge County game, which was 2.5 weeks ago, when Mason was not necessarily pitching his best, was struggling a little bit, where the question was, you knew Dane was going to be your number one pitcher, regardless in district play. In the district tournament, it was going to be Dane Hawkins pitching game 1. But that big question was, who was going to pitch the second game?
Yeah.
And Mason Miller in that Breckenridge County game was dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
Last week against Edmonson County was dynamite. And tonight, he was dynamite once again. And if there was even remotely a question heading into tonight's game, it's no longer a question. Mason Miller is your number 2.
And you feel really comfortable about it. And coming into district play and, tournament play, 1-2 pitching is really something that, as a coach, you stress about because you don't know who that solid number 2 is. And here for Danny, Mason's made it really easy for him. And he's going to go out there and pitch a good game because that's what he's done all year in big-time games. And again,
it's not like they're, yes, Whitesville Trinity is not the best team in the region, but they're not a slouch by any means. They play extremely hard. That's one of the things that stands out. Edmonson County, obviously your biggest rival. And then you think he did it against the best team in the district, maybe one of the best teams in the region in Breckenridge County. And threw 9 innings in that game and gave up only 1 run.
Right. And he has thrown good against the teams that you have to beat. Every game matters this year, but at the end of the year, what matters are those district teams because you come away with the district championship. It doesn't matter what you do in the rest of the games of the year. And so he's thrown a good game against every team that's mattered. And it'd be really interested to see what he comes out here and does next Tuesday night against Butler County because if he can pass that test, these Cougars are looking really good for a district title.
And it's one of those things, too, that, if they are lucky enough to play for a district title, it would more than likely be Mason pitching in that district championship game that will be played at Butler County. So if chalk happens, the top seeds win, you'd be playing at Butler County for a chance to win the district. And what for this Grayson County team, Riley, we don't need to joke around about it. There is a bad taste left in the mouth from the last time you played Butler County in a district championship. We don't need to get into that, what happened. If you're a Cougar baseball fan, we don't need to go into it. It happened. It's done. It's over with. So there's a bad taste in the mouth, and I'm sure that there would be nothing that this team would love more than to have an opportunity. And again, there is a long way before we even consider this. That's still, 3.5 weeks away before we can even consider it.
It comes quick, though.
It does. We blink and we're there.
Yeah.
Briley, appreciate you taking the time.
Absolutely.
That's Briley Napier. We'll come back, wrap it up after this. It's Cougar Baseball on K1. Mason Miller throws a 5-inning no-hitter tonight, and Grayson County defeats Whitesville Trinity by a final score of 10-0. Wrapping this one up, for Grayson County, runs batted in tonight's game. Mason Miller finishes with 3 of them. Dane Hawkins gets 2. And Camden Brothers finishes with 1 for Grayson. Hit-wise, Dane Hawkins, he led the way 3 for 3 with 2 doubles, 2 runs batted in, and those 2 runs scored. Camden Brothers had 2 runs scored as well. Chandler McCready, he went 1 for 3. Other hits tonight, Mason Miller, Keaton Woodcock, Ethan Snyder, Jaron Van Meter. For Grayson County, those 8 hits for the Cougars. For Whitesville Trinity, no hits in tonight's game. Their lone base runners, Landon Huff, he reached on a 4-pitch walk, and Nolan Mills reached on a hit-by-pitch and his only at-bat in tonight's game. Nathan Hernandez got the start tonight for the Raiders, and he is straddled with a loss. 4 innings pitched, 8 hits, 10 runs, none earned. 3 strikeouts for the Raiders in tonight's game. Mason Miller picks up the win. 5 innings pitched, no hits, no runs, no earned, 5 strikeouts, and 1 walk for Mason Miller in tonight's game. Final line score for today for Whitesville Trinity, 0 hits, 0 runs, 0 hits, and 9 errors. For Grayson County, 10 runs, 8 hits, and 0 errors. Cougars will be back in action tomorrow evening as they will travel to Ohio County for a matchup against the Eagles before coming back home on Saturday, as at 11 a.m. they will face Nelson County. And then in the afternoon cap, they will face the Allen County Scottsville Patriots at 4 p.m. for a pair of games before a massive district series next week against the Bears of Butler County. That wraps up our coverage here tonight. I want to thank the K105 Digital Productions crew for all of their hard work. Cody Brock was your camera operator. Riley Napier was your director and your color analyst. So for them, on a night where Grayson County gets a no-hitter through 5 innings from Mason Miller, and a 10-0 victory over Whitesville Trinity, this is Sam Gormley saying, so long,